Hello, crypto people. My name is Joey. I'm part of the Chart Guys team. I've been a trader and technical analyst for 7 years, over 20,000 hours. I'm here to talk about some crypto. Already getting called out for a clickbait title, but it's not a clickbait title. It's not a clickbait title. As soon as Trump's victory odds for the upcoming election went up over the weekend with what went down that everybody knows, Bitcoin reacted directly where you can see it on the chart minute by minute. And that is because Trump is pro crypto. And then now there's a second layer to it where there are rumors that he's going to be announcing JD Vance as vice president and he owns Bitcoin. So check your bias, leave it at the door. There's a human side of us and there's a trader side of us. And if we're trying to make money in the markets, we've got to be aware of these narratives because it's all it is. It's just a narrative. And that's that. It doesn't mean that necessarily everything will manifest from it. Oftentimes you'll see the narratives get priced in, and then once you actually get the actual result, then things begin to unwind. And a good example of that is the solar sector into the 2020 election. So check your bias at the door. We're just doing charts. We're just talking about narratives, and we're going to look into what's going on because let's just get into it. We'll pop over to the charts here. What we got here is a monthly bull flag on Bitcoin. What we've been saying is that as long as monthly 12 EMA is held as support, it's going to be a potential monthly bull flag. We've now got a pretty decent bounce right off of that 12 EMA. And let's zoom into the weekly. We have now retraced more than 50% of this move down, only marginally, but 50% is 50%, and that increases the odds that Bitcoin bulls will be able to confirm a weekly uptrend from here, which is what will be necessary for us to be confident in a monthly high or low being set. Could we just V-shape to new highs? Yes, that's always a possibility. If we're going to just V-shape to new highs, there will likely be increasing bull volume along with it. Tough to gauge volume on the week, only a day in at this point, but that's what we're working with here. So let's zoom on in a little bit further. I'm liking the 2-day and 3-day time frames still, and we're testing a key resistance here at 63.8K. If we reject, then I'm going to be looking for an inverse head and shoulders to try to see weekly bounce continuation. If we were to reject stronger from here, it could just be weekly consolidation from here. But we'll just go one step at a time. And for now, Bitcoin bulls have full control as long as hourly 12 EMA is support. If that were to be lost, we'd be looking at some more legitimate 4-hour consolidation. It's just been bull flag after bull flag on the way up. We'd have to lose hourly 12 EMA to see some more legitimate 4-hour consolidation. Then we'd look for 4-hour 12 EMA to continue acting as support. 4-hour 12 EMA is what will need to be lost to see any 2-day or 3-day consolidation. And that's that with Bitcoin. So to go back here and look at what we've got going on as far as the title of, Bitcoin wants a Trump presidency. Yes, Bitcoin wants a Trump presidency. This is when the shooting happened and initial flush down, which is not shocking. And then once everybody processed everything and said, oh, well, now that there's this shooting, we can anticipate that voter turnout's going to be higher. And if voter turnout's going to be higher, then increased odds of election are higher. And what's happened since then? It's been all bulls. So to Mr. Aaron, be sure to check the headlines as updates come in on polling results and this and that. You will very likely see Bitcoin continue to react to this. And if it stops reacting, then we'll shift our tune. But all we can do as traders in terms of navigating narratives and what we've got going on is look at the narrative, look what's going on, see if it continues to be what's going on. And as long as that's the case, it's an extra edge as a trader. So same thing is happening today on rum. When the JD Vance rumor came out or speculation or whatever, it's up 12%. Dan's now got a risk-free swing on it using this information. So not the place to bring our biases in, not our place to get butthurt over what side we want to see win or this or that. And we're not going to talk politics here at the Chart Guys. That's one of our main things in our Slack community. We don't talk politics other than how it relates to the market because we're professional traders trying to have the best edge that we can with this game. So Am I triggered? Yeah, I'm triggered. We give away a ton of free information all the time to help people out, and you know, when you got goons taking shots, it's annoying. Anyways, let's de-trigger and move on to Ethereum. Similar deal. Let's start out on the monthly. Monthly 12 EMA acting as support, big bounce off of it. As long as monthly 12 EMA is support, then no 6-month lower high is shaping up on Ethereum. We'll turn off log to just kind of give us a little more body here. We know it wouldn't be shocking to see a 6-month lower high compared to all-time highs, 48.67. If that were to shape up, we'd have to lose monthly 12 EMA. Are we losing monthly 12 EMA at this point? No, we are not. We got a solid weekly bounce, bulls creating room for a weekly higher low, and zooming in, hourly 12 EMA support, similar to Bitcoin. Once we lose that, we'll look to 4-hour 12 EMA to act as support. That would need to be lost to see any daily consolidation. Then we'll have tons of room for a daily higher low. And this is an important element of what we've got going here is how do we respond to oversold conditions next time we see them? I'm most concerned about the hourly, next time we see hourly oversold conditions, because while this is not a back burner is a move after a big old breakout. And while this is a nice move, we're in downtrends on the weekly. We're looking for lower highs. So it's not a back burner, but if hourly oversold gets snapped up next time we get there and we go to new highs, then that is the type of situation where we can say, all right, this new polling narrative and crypto narrative or whatever, that is, it's still got legs at this point. So we'll certainly be watching that. And with Ethereum, big thing we're watching here is the weekly equilibrium. High, low, lower high, higher low. And the direction this tightening range breaks will tell us, are we getting over the monthly 12 EMA for the first time in over a year and a half, or are we rejecting once again? And then bulls would be trying to form a monthly higher low and go for the monthly trend change. So I don't have any directional bias within this tightening range. I wouldn't be surprised if we stay within here until some ETF carrots get dangled out in front of us. The early speculations was like maybe July 2nd. Here we are, July 15th. Still no real news coming out on that. So continuing to watch, continuing to not sleep on ETH because we know spot ETFs are coming. And I would anticipate that once we get a date set for the spot ETFs, that there will likely be a run-up in Ethereum as long as the crypto space is conducive for that. So what else we got? LTC, BTC, another rejection from weekly 12 EMA. We had a really nice 2-day bounce up on LTC USD, but relative weakness coming back in. And we know that as long as weekly 12 EMA is resistance on LTC, then it's still just a dog. It's still just a dog. So looking at LTC USD, we're still just grinding up. Daily stair step. We are testing this 2-day 12 EMA, which has been acting as resistance. We do have a lot of room for a 2-day higher low and just riding the 4-hour 12 EMA all the way up. So that would need to be lost along with the daily stair step to get some daily consolidation underway. And then we'll look for that higher low. What else we got? Let's check in on Sol. We're still just range bound here. Sol's a really nice equilibrium. Low or high, low, lower high, higher low now set, and anything below 188.89 would be a lower high there. So obviously Sol has ETF implications and hopes and dreams as well. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we stay within here until there's more progression on those ETFs. Sol was one of our only alts that didn't confirm the 2-week downtrend, that actually held support there. And, we've got some smaller coins that are doing their own things up at all-time highs. Like I think ONDO is one of those that's, kind of doing its own thing up at the highs. But in general, all of our, I don't know if you'd call them legacy coins necessarily, because it's more than just like the OG coins, but many coins had this 2-week downtrend that we can see with like RNDR. Link got it as well. And Sol's one of the only ones holding, and that is because of the ETF stuff. So big thing here with Sol is watching Sol BTC, because right now Sol's been enjoying relative strength over the last month, but we're within a weekly equilibrium. If we get a weekly lower high compared to 26.93.9, then we will see relative weakness come back into Sol. So If I'm just looking at this chart on its own, I'm saying weekly lower high is very much so the most likely scenario. I don't know how the ETF hopes and dreams are going to play into that. If that can be enough, create enough interest to have us just go through resistance, time will tell. But I'm actually going to go ahead and set an alert on the low of last week so that I'm not caught sleeping if Sol starts to regain some relative weakness. And that very well could just be a weekly lower high shaping up within Sol USD's tightening range there. So let's see. Let's look at Link watching this 2-week falling wedge, looking for a quarterly higher low. And Bull's doing a decent job with the bounce. We had daily 12 EMA resistance, got up and over. Nice follow through at this point. We've got 4-hour 12 EMA support, probably similar to ETH and BTC with hourly 12 EMA before that. So same structure. Got to lose hourly 12 EMA, and then we're looking down to 4-hour 12 EMA, watching back burners to see, or we won't even call it that. We'll say watching oversold conditions to look to see how price reacts and see if this is just a little flash in the pan, or if this is the if this is igniting the heavy focus on the elections coming up in November here in the US. And it's not just going to be these crypto names, it's a season in the markets. We'll see all sorts of stuff start to react based on polling and this and that. And, as a trader, it's kind of a bit of, I don't know, you just got to do more work around this time of year. There's more things that you've got to watch. Like, do I want to stay on top of what's going on with the politics in the US? No, I don't. It's a disaster. And I prefer to just keep my head under a rock and make my immediate world a lovely place and watch the rest of the world burn around me. That's what I prefer to do. But as a professional trader, during this time, you have to stay on top of it and put in more work. And what that does do, though, is it's not for nothing. It can give you an edge. It can give you an edge to make some money, which is why we are all here. So let's see. Speaking of daily 12 EMA riders that got up and over, we got Doge coming back to life. Where are you? So Doge daily 12 EMA for a couple months, or we'll just call it 1 month. Up and over now. That is a weekly bounce playing out. Tons of room for a weekly lower high. Let's get rid of these rising wedge lines. Tons of room for a weekly lower high, but we're looking for a quarterly higher low. If that's shaping up, first step is going to be confirming a weekly uptrend. So watching the daily uptrend now as the guide for the weekly move. Anything over 1047.7 going to be a daily higher low next time we consolidate, and 4-hour 12 EMA support. So a lot of coins are synchronizing right now with this hourly 12 EMA and then 4-hour 12 EMA guide. And if you have a coin that is losing the hourly 12 EMA or isn't riding the hourly 12 EMA, then you know that that's weaker than Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, I believe as well, right? Was doing the hourly 12 EMA. Where'd you go? Sol. Yeah, Sol's doing the hourly 12 EMA as well. So if you have a coin that's not holding hourly 12 EMA, you know it's weaker. And what that can do for you as a trader is you say, all right, this coin's weaker. We know it won't be shocking to see some deeper consolidation on Bitcoin whenever it comes. I'm going to, once Bitcoin loses hourly 12 EMA, I'm going to take this weaker coin and short that down for daily consolidation or something like that. Like, that's the mindset when we're comparing relative strength, relative weakness across coins. Let's dial it back and look at Bitcoin dominance. So the stream on Friday, we were watching this 4-hour falling wedge as we test 2-week 12 EMA, broke bull, and looking like another attempt at holding 2-week 12 EMA. And as long as 2-week 12 EMA is support, then we know that Bitcoin is remaining dominant over the crypto space, and that is that. What else we got? I think that, let's look at the miners. So, the other thing about, how is the election translating over to the crypto space? Is it a coincidence that Dan this morning was like, I'm looking at miners because of what went on over the weekend and the implications from that, and then here we are up 18.68%. Is that an experienced master diagnosing what's going on from a fundamental and narrative perspective? Or is it a guy who's lucky and going to go vote for Trump. Who knows? I don't know who Dan's voting for, but I know he made a bunch of money on miners this morning using that edge as a clue. And I know he made a bunch of money on rum using that edge as a clue. So gotta check your bias at the door. So we've been talking about miners, and the talk has been, ain't nothing going on. We're tightening up for a long time. We're now getting the breakout here. So let's dial it back. That's a quarterly higher low being set. So key resistance is going to be 34.09. Not going to lose track that it wouldn't be shocking to see a 6-month tightening range here, but just going to stick with the intermediate trends. We'll figure out what those are here real quick. What do we want to use? We got a ginger weekly uptrend. That whole sideways area here was still within a weekly uptrend, and that's continuing. So we'll use the weekly uptrend as the guide for this quarterly move at this point, and that's like a tight guide for it. So lots of room for a higher low compared to 1878. But going one step at a time, first step is going to be looking for an hourly higher low. If bulls hold the 12 EMA, if 5-minute oversold marks the hourly higher low, then the daily move is looking strong to continue. Anything over low of day would be an hourly higher low. And structurally, we've got Mara above the peers here at this point. We know bigger picture, CLSK is healthier, holding on at the highs, but it's still within its tightening range here. And we know bigger picture Riot is weaker, much further off the highs, and it's trying to follow Mara in terms of breaking out of this tightening range. So the intraday techs are going to be pretty similar on all of those. And we got bulls going to be looking for hourly higher lows. And in terms of, we talked about it briefly, but in terms of rum, which obviously isn't crypto related, but is loosely related in terms of how do narratives affect the markets? You know, that's in case anyone's hearing that Dan's in that and blah, 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 you know, it's a high risk, high reward play, because if JD Vance doesn't get announced as the vice president, then you better bet that that's going to dump down. That is going to dump down. So that's pretty much all I'm looking at here. Let's hop into chat, see what y'all are looking at. Let's see, Danny Edwards on Team Riot making a comeback on Mara. Let's check out that ratio and see how things stand here right now. So this is the Riot versus Mara ratio chart, and as long as this is in a downtrend, then Riot is weaker than Mara. So what do we need to see a flippening of those two? Really, it's getting over weekly 12 EMA. We've got a weekly downtrend, weekly 12 EMA, and there will be variation in relative strength and weakness along the way, but the general trend, you know, similar to LTC, BTC, is down. So if we're talking about a macro shift between Mara and Riot, like what we had back here, got to get over weekly 12 EMA for that. What up, Mirko? What up, Basque? Miss Paula, how are you? Let's see, Joe Ryan, is there an uplift desk I see back there? Yeah, there is. Let's see, we'll get this back on. A Chart Guys member sent me that as a thank you gift, and it's there for my mobile setup. Or if I want to stand, you know, I'll take my laptop and my mobile rig and I'll set it up back there. It's a little bougie to have like my main PC desktop set up here, and then also have another one back there, but my mobile rig is just sitting around most of the time. So I don't have it set up right now, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm not using it as my main desk because I've actually got like an old dining room table as my main desk because I like to sprawl. I like to have space. Let's see, Samuel's laughing probably at me talking about being triggered, I would guess. Corch, no problem, my pleasure. Let's see. Yeah, Randy Trader brings up a good point here. And it was something that I was looking at before because, you know, Aaron's follow-up was, you know, be sure to talk about how well the actual market has done since Biden was elected. And it's like, okay, well, let's look. I mean, we've been going up. We've just been going up, man. Let's put some dates on it. So we've got Trump elected in 2016. The markets went up. We got Biden elected in 2020. The markets went up. You know, it's just, You had Obama in 2008 down here. Markets went up. He got a second term. They went up. It's everybody. It's funny as a professional trader. Like, yes, there are narratives that find their way into the markets. I get that. But as a professional trader, like the weight that people who are more on the periphery of the markets put on these things that just like, I don't know, professionals don't worry about it all that much. There's stuff like Geo, private prison stocks are going to benefit if Trump is elected. Big gap up. That's definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing. We'll go back to the solar sector as it was looking like Biden was going to, get elected, or when he did, huge pricing into it. Huge pricing into it. And then once he got office, it sold off. So that's what we're talking about at the beginning, that the market's forward looking. It likes to price in narratives ahead of time. And then once it's in, that's, priced in. And Google chart guys, what is it? What does priced in mean? On our YouTube channel, or you can go to our website and you can learn more about that. Keggers, you're a stand-up guy. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Thanks for that. All right. Probably a quickie if no one's got any ticker requests. I got a few minutes to look at something if anybody's trying to have anything looked at. Let's check back in on AIOZ, actually, because we got a falling wedge here we're watching. Okay. So still materializing. Finally got a little relative strength there. But this is on watch because we're looking for a monthly higher low. We're testing 12 EMA. Same thing that we were just doing on Bitcoin. Same thing that we're just doing on Bitcoin. It's had relative weakness, and now we're getting a little relative strength. Daily uptrend going to be the guide as we come into this downtrending resistance line. Ultimately, got to get up and over that. Got to regain a weekly uptrend if we're going to get a monthly higher low set. All right, Rico got the request. Sui, hold on a second. Well, I guess we'll find out here. Where did Sui go? It got dumped down into the 2-week downtrend. We were tracking Sui regularly up at all-time highs, but now it's really come off the highs. So we are still looking for a monthly higher low. Anything over 36 cents would be one. It's going to be the same deal as everybody else looking for monthly higher lows, where we need a weekly uptrend, and bulls trying to get the weekly bounce underway. Got to break 81.94 to get that weekly bounce underway. And then we'll be watching 12 EMA for resistance. And that is that. So looking at the daily here, we've got a daily uptrend and a daily stair step. So not quite as impulsive over the last few days as some peers, but Sunday was definitely a good day. Sunday was definitely a good day. Let's see if we got an EMA that we're riding. I'm going to guess something weird like the 6 hour, not even, like an 8 hour 12 EMA rider. So when you're evaluating EMA riders, the larger the time frame of the EMA that you're riding, the less like impulsive the moves are. And by impulsive, I mean like, this is more of a corrective move. It's not very impulsive. This is an impulsive move. So a little more corrective on this, but we'll see. Let's look at SUI BTC, see if we have any clues. Yeah, so we still just got relative weakness. We're probably rejecting 3-day 12 EMA. Yeah. 3-day 12 EMA is acting as resistance on SUI. Nice relative strength over the past few candles, but if we get another rejection here, then we'll anticipate relative weakness to come back in. Let's see, Money Bum, I guess we'll do PayPal, and then we'll wrap it up. Primarily a crypto stream, but since we got no requests, PayPal, as long as it's below monthly 12 EMA, it's not doing anything. We are looking for a yearly higher low, so there's reason to loosely be keeping eyes on it. But when you have something that's just way weak compared to the market, it's kind of tough to want to put any money in something like that without any sign that like bulls are here. Your opportunity cost is kind of high on something like that. So that's all I've got going right now. We're doing free trials at the chart guys. They're like the public free trials at this point. So it is a 2-week trial. It is read only, so you can't type or post anything, but you can come into the Slack room, and I'll show you a little preview of that. This is our Slack room. This is, or we won't spend time finding Dan's post this morning about Mara and Rum and all this and that. But, we got all our different rooms. This is our crypto room for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. We got our altcoin room where everybody's trading the alts. Crypto general, where stuff like, rumors of the vice president announcement coming in. It's a pretty sweet place. 2-week free trial, read only. And if you want the deets on that, you've got to tune into Lori's pregame show. That's where it's being advertised from, because right now it's technically just for the pregame folk, but we'll let you guys know about it. If you tune into the pregame, then you're a pregame folk. All right, Miss Julie, Jasmine is getting a decent move right off monthly 12 EMA. We're looking for a monthly higher low, ding the 12 EMA, moving back up. It's going to be a very similar deal to what we're talking about with all these other coins that have their weekly bounces underway, including Bitcoin. If we want a monthly higher low to be set, need a weekly uptrend confirmed. So we are going to be looking for a lower high compared to 44.69, and we've got a daily uptrend guide. This is actually very similar to Doge. Let's go back and look at that. Very similar. Daily 12 EMA resistance, you get up and over, you get a nice move. Daily 12 EMA resistance, tighten up, you get up and over, nice move. So daily uptrend is going to be the guide for this weekly move. Anything over 22.76 is going to be a higher low. And just blasting on the 4-hour stair step and hourly 12 EMA support. So again, lots of coins have this similar structure right now, and you can gauge relative weakness or strength between them based on how they're responding to those EMAs. And again, once we see oversold conditions, we'll see how our bulls buying up some dips. All right, for real, I am done now. Thank you for tuning in and spending some of your afternoon with me. If you haven't hit the like button and you liked it, please hit the like button. It helps the algos. If you didn't like it, please refrain from hitting the unlike. Just DM me on Twitter and say I stink so that you don't mess up our algos. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Check out the pregame show tomorrow for deets on that 2-week free trial. And I will see y'all on the next stream. Have a good one.